Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another very exciting episode of Juwai IQI Canada Evening Talk. And the reason I am so excited today because it's an honor for me to interview my mentor, my boss, who has been guiding us throughout our IQI journey and to a lot of other people as well. You know, a company we started with 6 people and now with over 21 countries, 23,000 agents, every day, he's changing lives and realizing dreams for a lot of people. Welcome, Mr. Daniel Ho, our Group Managing Director. How are you doing, Daniel?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Yousaf. Good to see you. And good evening to all our friends over in the social media realm. And have a great week ahead.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you as well. I know it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and I just want to let audience know that my own personal grooming, my own personal mentorship, whatever I've learned today, what I am going through the journey is because of my mentors, which I always say it very openly, Daniel and Kashif, who's been guiding us through this process. And today, what I want to do is that, Daniel, a little bit about the company. We've been talking about it because, but of course, you are one of those, pioneers along with Kashif, Sheila, Nabil, Shahid, Anthony, taking a journey of right from, 6 people. So tell us a little bit about your journey and then we can go to your topic as well.
It has been one amazing ride. We started about 10 years ago. And as you have rightly pointed out, with only 6 of us. And I'm with a big dream. And sometimes we sort of like, when looking back at what we have achieved today, it amazes us what an amazing dream can help you get to where you want to be. When it is filled with the right motivation, it's filled with the right attitude, and the team unceasingly dedicated, continuously, toilessly, uh, piling on, building the company structure by structure, frame by frame to where it is. I can say it is a testament to all the dedication of the leaders and the entire warriors of this company that we started. Credit shouldn't go to me. Credit goes to everyone that put in every single ounce of energy and realizing this amazing dream that is still a work in progress.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I'm sure, of course, it's always a team effort, and uh, the IQI, the Juwai IQI has been a platform of changing lives and realizing dreams for so many people, and making sure that everybody is guided throughout the journey as well. So we're just going to say quickly a hi to good morning, IQI Global, Mabua from IQI Philippines. Thank you so much. The beauty of Juwai IQI, once we are there, we are a big happy family. And I always tell my viewers, all it takes is one click of a button for people to, for our country heads and everybody to talk to us on that. So, let's come to our topic today, Daniel, and I'm sure people would like to hear from you a lot on it. Growing income, how are people growing income in today's time, especially, after COVID, what how IQI has helped a lot of people, in terms of growing your income significantly, and not only significantly growing it, but also sustaining it at the same time as well. Over to you.
Thank you. I think right now, when you look at what COVID have done to the entire world, is it has caused a major disruption. And the sort of disruption you look at it, it's at one point it is a health disruption, but on the other hand, it is an income disruption. Why am I saying that? Is because people's livelihood are interrupted along the way. Why? Due to restriction in gathering, due to restriction in meeting up with people. A lot of people can no longer run their business the way they used to be. So as a whole, if you look at country by countries globally, you go through every single country and you look at every single sector. You have the manufacturing sector, you have the infrastructure sectors like the ports, the highways, etc. You look at the agricultural sectors, lands that is being used for farming, etc. You look at the retail sectors, the commercial sectors, even the living sectors, as in the residential sectors. All these rested under one platform, and that one platform is property. And in an entire countries, you have different segments of property after properties after properties after properties that houses many different entities like businesses or individuals. And when COVID came, what essentially happened before COVID was every single country on a daily basis, they used to have thousands and thousands of transactions among all these sectors. Among, say, for example, when you look at the manufacturing sectors, you have a factory that houses the facility, so on and so forth. Within that property, there are transactions happening. It could be inbound transaction or outbound transactions. And this has been ongoing for years after years. Unfortunately, when COVID became a pandemic, now it is transitioning into an endemic. All these transactions are disrupted. You have suddenly someone, from up and above, press a reset button and say, you no longer can transact on this regular basis. There is going to be a new norm of transaction. So when such happen, obviously, you can see income is impacted, revenues is impacted, profit is also, turns into loss, many turns into loss. So what we have learned out of this lesson was within the entire IQI ecosystem, we have learned it's so important to build something that is sustainable. In today's world, when the G20 meet up, all the global leaders meet up, they talk about sustainable in a long-term manner, sustainable so that you can have this cycle to go on over and over again, so that livelihood is not impacted. And the way we understand things moving forward during this crisis time, we have managed to grow so many of our warriors' income by doubling their income during this pandemic time. And when you are seeing sectors after sectors, seeing their income diminish, say, for example, in the F&B sectors or in the hospitality sectors, is a total wipeout. In the airline sectors, is almost a total wipeout. And I can say, even in the property sectors, there is, prior to the recent, rally in the property market, there was a slump in the beginning. And that slump lasted almost a year, more than a year. And during that year, many of our warriors have grown their income by a factor of 50%. And that was last year. But this year alone, they doubled their income.
Yeah.
And how do we do that? The way we look at it is, what is essentially transaction? It has a certain characteristic within how transaction happens. Transactions love to gravitate towards value. And every time in a country, in all these different sectors, so many things is happening there. You can see all those transactions that is happening, they gravitate towards value. Meaning to say, any hub or spots or individual or entity that is able to offer more value, the transaction will gravitate towards that value. Say, for example, if someone is looking for a manufacturing hub, obviously, prior to him committing to securing the hub or the particular factory, he will look at the infrastructure. He will look at the how fast is the broadband speed. What is the other utility lines? Do he have sufficient utility lines? As in, perhaps he might need some natural gas. He might need some electricity, water, so on and so forth. What about supporting infrastructure around the area, as in terms of maintaining the machinery, so on and so forth. So if that particular hub fit all the bills as compared to another hub that doesn't fit the bill, obviously the transaction will take place there. The way that we at Juwai IQI works is we look at value enhancement. In everything that we do as a realtor, there is a life cycle of a realtor. And many times, if a particular realtor do not understand how far his life cycle can go, or how far he can extend his value, then a lot of practitioners in the market, they are blindsided. They're sort of like what do you call this, a blind spot. They are operating on a blind spot, whereby they are running on a minimum viable product or services mode. And that sort of modus operandi is a limiting modus operandi, because in their own view, they would have thought that I'm doing the best, I'm delivering the maximum value that I'm giving. And why is my income is not growing? As compared to someone who really understand and realize, okay, as far as a real estate professionals is concerned, you can extend your value proposition to another different level, and you can continue to push that boundary upwards. And due to the fact that he's able to expand his value proposition, the income that he's going to make will commensurate with his value, which is it will be on a rising tandem. It will be sustainable. Why? Because he is expanding value year by year, becoming bigger and bigger, touching more and more people. So it is very important to progress. It is very important we work on a series of stages, and in life there are many stages. Uh, when I was small, when I was in my teens, it's all about schools. It's all about play. It's not much of responsibility. But as you move into adulthood, you carry different responsibility. As you get married, you carry different responsibility. The same goes with a realtor and a real estate professionals. When we started our career, it's different. There's a lot to learn. It's a discovery phase. So we discover a lot, and then we move into the phase of implementation. And when we move into implementation, how we implement our skills, strategies, everything matters. And the sort of experience that we garnered from there, it is important. If we do it systematically, we grow very fast during that phases. But after that, there is another phase that we have to move on. Those other phase that I'm talking about is about mentorship, is about leadership, is about delivering more value, is about, apart from transacting deals by yourself, it is about you using the experience that you have harnessed over the years to change the life of many. And the ecosystem in IQI is built in such a way that the progression of a real estate professionals, it's complete. And from there, right at the higher level of leadership, there are various levels of leadership. And once someone is able to move into the area of leadership, his scope changes. It is like, apart from managing a tree, looking after a tree, he look after the entire forest. And he can look after the entire forest, from one forest to another forest. Our world has become so small. Our world is now a village, as so many of us put it. And in the IQI ecosystem, we have so many leaders that are so capable. Today, they no longer manage one tree. Instead, they manage multiple forests. They have forests in different districts, in different states. Some of them have forests in different countries. And to manage forests in different districts requires a different level of competency. And to bring that level competency up to another level, to be able to manage it on a state-wise basis, it requires different level of knowledge and competency. Likewise, if someone would want to extend that forests into different countries, you have different laws, different regulations. It requires different level of competency. And why do we stress a lot about growing your income sustainably and significantly? Sustainably meaning to say, if you can continuously expand your value, your income will be sustainable. Because the more value you dispense, the market will reward you with a lot more. And it is I would say, virtuous cycle. The more you give, the more you receive. Yeah. And that create a very sustainable model. Significance comes from skills. Significance comes from size. And in IQI, our playground is not a district. Our playground is not a state. It's not even a country. The world is our playground. And fueled by the right attitude, built with the right structure, we can play the whole world, have this amazing journey, and enjoy this game of generating positive income, good income, and honorable income by reaching out many different people, as you would have already experienced it yourself. You so you
Yeah.
have been in dialogues with so many different country head, so many different
Yeah.
leaders from different
Yeah.
countries all over the IQI ecosystem, and networking with them, doing deals together, reaching out different pockets of buyers, understanding different groups of buyers from different countries. These are the things that is real. These are
Yeah.
the things that is proven, and these are the things that is time and tested. Just cite one example. Yesterday, I was in this Zoom with one of our group vice president, Dave Chong.
Mm-hmm.
He is a Malaysian.
Yeah.
Started the journey with IQI 8 years ago. He started off as an ordinary realtor, real
Yeah.
estate agent in Malaysia. I remember the first month when he came. He Prior to him coming joining us, he was already a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
He owns his own bird nest farm. It was doing
Yeah.
quite well then, and of course he invested in property. He reaped the reward of the returns of from property, and he said, wow, I can be a realtor. I think it's going to be lucrative, and at the same time I can sort of like learn what is best to buy. I can invest myself, and at the same
Yeah.
time close deal. The first month himself, or in the first month itself, he closed 5 units,
Wow.
5 units property in 1 month.
Amazing.
But within 1 month he had 5 cancellations.
Oh, wow.
The deals that he got in was eventually cancelled. Imagine when you
Yeah.
sort of like collected the booking. I'm
That's right.
sure being a newbie, he would have calculated, oh, how much of commission I'm going to make. Wow, this is fat commission. 5 units in a month. My goodness.
Yeah.
And within
Yeah.
that same month, five of his clients canceled the deal, and he was crushed. But this is a person that has a very strong tenacity, and he's a fighter. He's a warrior. He never give up. And
Wow.
he told himself, for every single unit that cancel out, he will confirm another 2 more units. He will bring
Wow.
2 more units. So every single unit that is lost, it was decided on him that he cannot accept that he is a loser. You continue to fight on. You continue to forge on. He will improve himself so that he will replace those lost unit with 2 more bookings. Turn out
Wow.
that that year itself, he got to be among the top performer.
Wow. Wow.
And that attitude, amazing guy. That attitude has was the foundation of his growth from year one as an ordinary realtor, dispensing uh, the value, minimum viable values or services that he is doing,
Wow.
meaning to say he's interacting with clients on a single clients one by one basis, to who he is today as he have progressed and he grown through that stage. He start to take on leadership role. He start to think about how to mentor people, how to deliver more value to people, and start to think about grooming the next generation of real estate professionals. And true enough, today he is already 8 years with us. He is the group vice president of IQI. He recently got himself a Porsche.
Nice.
Every now and then, he get himself a good, nice watches.
Mm-hmm.
Fly all around the world on a yearly basis before COVID. Yeah, he used to travel perhaps in a year, uh, 8 times at least,
Wow.
6 to 8 times, and being able to meet people from different countries, travel, enjoy the world, see different perspectives, explore different opportunities. He no longer is operating in the very basic fundamental realtor functionality, but he has evolved into someone who is managing forests. He is no
Mm-hmm.
longer managing a tree. He is able to
Mm-hmm.
see the entire forest, plan
Wow.
and mentor people, and bring up many other young and successful real estate professional from there. So the ecosystem of IQI enables so many individuals to do all this. And it is proven time and again. This is just one of the examples that I've
Yeah.
cited. We have so many uh, hundreds and thousands of examples that have been, of individual attaining success. So
Yes.
this is what I want to talk about today.
Very, very nice. Thank you so much, Daniel. I'm still going to continue with some more things on that, but just recapping what you said, the life stages for the agents, right from the discovery to implementation to mentorship. Talking about Dave Chong, I've had an experience of doing so, talking to him and bringing him to some of my Zoom meetings on that. Absolutely an amazing person, training and going through the whole cycle and helping people out on that. I think, as you rightly said, that's what Juwai IQI system is all about for us training and mentoring and improving the people. I know one of the topics which we were not discussing, but I just want to get for people to know about from your side is that, and you've always been very in terms of saying that how people don't come out of their comfort zone as we are talking about the being for the incomes to be sustainable. A lot of time, people feel like, they are okay where they are, and, sometimes people feel like, I'm so comfortable in my own comfort zone. If I try to move from one angle to another angle, what happens? And I'm sure we have gone through so many examples within our company where we've seen people stepping out of comfort zone. So please share your thoughts on stepping out of comfort zone.
Okay, let me perhaps give you an examples of
Yeah,
companies. Say, for example, when any new companies they wanted to start on something, number one, they must have proof of concept.
yeah,
Okay, say for example, even someone have an idea, they want to know whether can they start a company and can they turn it into a successful enterprise, just like a person. They must have number one proof of concept. Number two, they must come up with a minimum viable product or services.
yeah,
So once they have come up with a minimum viable product, okay, or services, say for example, they come out, okay, perhaps the market might take these services. So they have to then proceed to execute or form up a startup, create a company, and start running it. So once they when they put up a startup company, they have to inject funds into it. Then they go into the market and they try to pitch this minimum viable product or services to the market.
yeah,
And if the
yeah,
market like it, the market will adopt it. Just like, say for example, Spotify. In the early
yeah,
days, Spotify is just a startup. Today
yeah,
is $1 billion company.
yeah,
In the early days, YouTube is just an app, a video app.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Today is a $1 billion company acquired by Google. The same. Um, the same that goes with realtor, the real estate industry. A lot of agents, when they move into this industry, it's like they will look at it. Okay, I can close deal, and from closing deals, I can earn a lot of good income, and that is the minimum viable product.
yeah,
That's essentially what a realtor does. You dispense your professional knowledge and your services by facilitating a transaction in property. And once that happen, every time when a transaction happen through you, you make some money.
yeah,
And that's the minimum viable product. And I must say, uh, in this industry, the minimum viable product is not bad. People actually make a lot of money out of that. Yeah.
yeah,
But there is a different realm of growth and experience and journey that the realtor or company can enjoy. Say, for example, if Spotify continue to remain a minimum viable product, is
yeah.
Spotify just do the basic as it is. Spotify will never be what it is today.
That's true.
The same goes with a realtor. If he or she is just happy with transactional, I'm happy to handle one client. I just do one transaction or a couple of transactions a month. I make good life, make a good lifestyle. I'm happy with it. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
But I think I would like to encourage and motivate for those who is sitting in their comfort zone to expand that experience. Because what do we want out of life? We want to be able to grow.
yeah,
One thing beautiful about life is every time when we are growing, it adds a lot more life to us, and we feel passionate about it. The thing, when you make a study on people, people that are sad, people that are not so happy, are those people that are not growing, or
Yeah.
they do not see their way out. They see their circumstances in a quite a messy kind of arrangement, and they are unable to sort of like grow. And if you look at someone that is growing, you can see that brilliant in the face.
Yeah.
What does growth equate to? Growth equates to more life. We are living, right? What do
Hmm.
we want out of life? To be more lively.
Yeah.
And when we are growing, whether it could be in our family relationship, it could be in monetary terms, it could be in friendship wise, it could be in social, it could be in knowledge, every areas that we are growing, or in spiritual aspects, when we are growing, we get out more of life. So what do we want? We want to be able to do that. And I would suggest, or I would like to encourage, for those that is residing in your comfort zone, doing your transaction as you were doing very well, explore a new phase of growth, move into a new stage. The next stage that you've got to look at is growth, because
Yeah.
out of a startup like a company, once the minimum viable product is validated by the market accepted it. The next phase is growth. Move into the growing phase, because this is the time when you are talking about expanding your team. This is the time when you're talking about, instead of touching one people, you touch many people. Instead of dispensing value to one person, you start to dispensing value to a larger group of person, group of people or
People. Yeah.
individual, or could be corporation.
Mm.
And in this growth phase, it is definitely a very exciting journey of discovering new potential. It is also a journey of meeting up with a lot of interesting character, meeting also discovering new different circumstances of transacting, because
Yeah.
there are different levels of transactions that one can expose yourself to. Uh, Property, you can have a small transaction as per unit property when you sell or rent a single unit, to a mega development,
Yeah.
or to a
Yeah.
city development, and that brings in a different level of satisfaction.
That's
And at the
true.
end of the day, when you look back, having been able to do all this, you have different repertoire of joy and excitement. And all this different repertoire brings a good collective of experiences. It brings a good collective of networks, friendships. And when it is done correctly, uh, it become like what I have mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
It become a sustainable virtuous cycle. And from that growth phase, there's another phase that we are moving towards in IQI as well. And that phase is the scale phase. You want, from growth, after growing to a certain size, you want to be able to scale it. And what essentially scale is like growth accelerated by two, three times. And
Yes.
it is possible. You look at so many successful companies, they continue to be able to scale, because why? Fundamentally, the foundational level of the company is built correctly. The technology of the company is built correctly. And once all these pillars are put right in its place, the scaling will happen. So, wouldn't it be more exciting, instead of transacting unit by unit,
Yeah.
you expand your scope to be able to offer uh, more units, more values to many groups of people, and thereafter scale it to many different parts of the world.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Always your sessions are so exciting that, from one thing to they keep leading on to that. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your session. All the realtors or anybody who's listening to us, who will be listening to us later on as well on that, please do get in touch with us if you want to be a part of our growing company, and if you want to really, in terms of your growth, and you can grow into just not as, Daniel was saying, not only just locally, not only like countrywide, but not like globally, but you conquer the whole world. be a part of a team of Juwai IQI. With this note, Daniel, I would like to say again, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. You have a wonderful day, and I am going to call you back in my show very soon again. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Yusuf. You have a good day. Take care,
Take care. Bye
everybody.
bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye.